Hello, YouTube. So this is a interesting little monster that I've been um, considering for a long time, and stocks were getting low, so I decided to hop on it while I still could. This is Copper and Kings Pear Brandy Private Cask. Let's see a little more about it. So Pear Brandy, it's not something that Copper and Kings is making themselves. They do make their own brandy. I think they're based in Kentucky somewhere. But this is actually one that they bought from a distillery in Oregon. So they're doing a independent bottling of someone else's pear brandy. Um, now, initially when I saw this on the shelves, I immediately thought that it was going to be, an aged version of this thing, which I reviewed previously, the Clear Creek Pear Brandy. I enjoyed this rather a lot. Well, my usual complaints about low proof and such, but good stuff. I'm now actually not as convinced, having tried this, that this is actually from Clear Creek. But more on that in a second. So they bought this from some distillery up in Oregon, who'd had it in various kinds of casks, French oak, Oregon oak. I think I mentioned Hungarian oak, and they bought it. I think it was maybe 10 years old or something at that point, and they re-racked it in some fresh casks, toasted, not charred. That's important because this is again I've talked enough about charred New American oak, so I won't go into that again. And they just started selling it under their own name. Now, a couple of weird things about this. There's no cask number. There's no indication of how many bottles they had. The only thing indicating identifying this is that it's 4 Binnies in Chicago. Anyways, this came out, I guess, about 2008. It's unchilled filtered, pot distilled, bottled at 52% alcohol. So that's 104 proof. And I have been enjoying it. This is a fun one, actually. This is a great sort of house spirit because it's not easy and straightforward. Let's get into it. On the nose, okay, kind of pears, but very obvious pears actually. There's more cider pears, and also like just straight up wood varnish. I mean, like nice wood varnish. The pears, and this is what makes me think it's not Clear Creek, or at least it's just maybe things totally changed when Clear Creek moved the distillery in this from before then. Clear Creek is very clean cut. It's very steely, and it's like dessert pears with a samurai sword. This is much more like like I said, cider pears, much more sour, kind of astringent. It's like you're getting like the skins and the core and the stem and all that stuff in there too, along with the sort of fruit. It's quite floral too, kind of orange blossoms, raisins, not golden raisins, just straight up, this little sun-kissed things that you give to your kids for lunch. Like ginger puree, I'm gonna go with that. White pepper, clove, a little prune juice, pastries like I was gonna go pie, more like you go into the coffee shop and you buy like a pear pastry or something like that, and it's a little confectionery, but not too much. And a little bit of like nice porridge, like some hipster restaurant that sells porridge with like quinoa and stuff in it, that kind of thing. So nice porridge, but very much dominated by sort of that cider pear, slight, wood varnishy thing. Not a lot. This is not oak driven, even though it's much older than that. The Lairds that I reviewed a few weeks ago. This is pear and varnish and flowers and stuff like that. On the palate, again, this is neat. I'm going to come back to it after adding a squirt of water. Cider pear again, but with that perfumey, in a nice way, kind of metallic, like the T1000 when he was in the mall in the movie, like walked into the Macy's and got attacked by people with like little spray samples, and maybe was carrying some pears at the time, that kind of thing. Dense, kind of hard to get your palate around. Kind of brown sugar, a little oatmeal, like overnight oatmeal, where you leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Clove, again, white pepper, definitely that, and oh, lychee fruit. Oh, that's really obvious, actually. It's even got that slightly kind of funky aromatic thing that lychee fruit has. Yeah, whole pear again. Skins and all that. It's a little bit soapy, in a nice soap. Kind of kind of wood bitters as well coming on the back end. Different kind of wood bitters. More on that when I add water. This is not. This is a lot of fun, but it's also not straightforward and kind of easy drinking at all. So I'm going to add a couple squirts of water. Okay, so I should probably talk about this. So like I said, I thought this was going to be basically this, right? They already do an aged version of this, but I've never actually tried it, to be honest, because what I've been waiting for is something presented like this, right? This is high proof, unchill filtered. It's very, except for the annoying lack of cask number. Like, is Binny sharing this with anyone else, or is it just their cask? Sometimes cask sharing between bottlers does happen. So I thought for sure this would be like along the lines of that, and it's really not. This is that's more that thing is more of like an aperitif. It's there to sort of kind of get your palate cleansed. This is much more. It moves much more like almost like an Armagnac or something, like an aged French brandy than sort of fruit up front, and it's just but then just tons of kind of dried, sour, bittery, oaky stuff. More on that when I come back to it, which I will do now, I guess. I could probably give it a little more time, but whatever. On the nose with water, much more cinnamony, actually. Okay, some fun wood notes coming out now. Like old furniture, definitely a kind of rancio thing now, and lots more raisin, kind of dried fruits, more generally, maybe some dried dates or something, and like Ethiopian coffee beans, like really floral, not ground yet, but just the beans. And a kind of muesli note, like this sort of Europe cereal stuff with the berries, the leaf sitting, except for the pear, which is still very present. Yeah, you couldn't mistake this for an Armagnac or something. It just has that same kind of profile of there's no. I know that they re-rack this in fresh American oak, but I'm not really getting this at all. This comes across much more like Limousin or something. Even I don't know how much Limousin is in this, but So let's try it on the palate. Okay. How do I do this? So the arrival is this sort of very nice sweet and sour, you know, cider pear arrival thing, and then, this spicy bitter wood just closes in. Again, think aged Armagnac here, um, but it's I mean, the finish is actually going in a couple of different directions at once. Parts of it are sort of, classic, Limousin oak kinds of stuff, dried fruits, black pepper bitterness. But there's also this kind of a sour astringency thing going on. It's like hang on. Yeah, it's like, sour wood and like burned old furniture, and you still got that sort of burned like pear skins thing, but also like some cigarette ash, maybe nice cigarettes. It's not it's not a bad finish. It's just not harmonious, if I can put it the way. It's sort of running in multiple different directions at once, and it's kind of hard to, you know figure out and nail down. One more time. Mm, mm, mm. Sticks around forever. I mean, this is tons of fun. Like I said, this is not a easy drinker. This is when you sort of have to focus on and keep your mind on. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, what the hell am I drinking? Um, I like it though. I've been handing out a lot of 85s. I feel like I'm being a little bit boring, but I would call this an 85 minus. Again, the finish is not, killing, destroying this for me, but um, it's it. This doesn't. This is in an entirely coherent experience in that, especially, once you add a little bit of water to it, it does open it up a lot, but it's also just like those funky, not funky, sort of disharmonious notes come through. It's a little Stravinsky back there. Mm. Late Stravinsky, sort of post, the neoclassical period. Um, yeah, 85 minus. I don't think we'll be seeing any more of this. This seems like it was a one-time deal, but it's fun if it's still out there, and you can get it for a reasonable price. Um, I'd grab it. It's very different, and it's fun. That's kind of all I got. Thanks for watching, and cheers.